I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY, and I am here for And Another Thing. Okay, this is a new segment that I am doing with a special guest, by the way. We do have a special guest today, and we are going to be talking about all the stuff I forgot when I do my reviews. Like, for instance, someone said, girl, you didn't talk about Martell saying, give me my name back. Every single one of y'all for rocking with. I don't know how that happened. You didn't talk about Martell saying, give me your name back. So I'm going to do that with a special guest. We're going to bring her up in a little bit. But before we get started, though, y'all know I like to say hello to you guys for joining me at the cookout. I also want to welcome all of my new subscribers. I see you guys, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But we do have Lady D Keys in the house. She is here to make sure y'all have a good time in the chat. She's a moderator. I don't mind us having different opinions, but be respectful to me, my co-host, and also be respectful to everyone in the chat, okay? Because we grown, and these people don't care about us for real. You know what I'm saying? They collect a check, and then they go on vacation and feed their families, all that stuff. Sometimes people take this way too personal. That's all I'm going to say about that. What's up, S.A. Rum? Nice to have you. What's up, Miss Cheryl? Nice to have you. Belicious is in the house. Nice to have you, girl. Who else? We got Jasmine here. Okay, so y'all come on in. Please feel free to talk, eat, enjoy yourselves. This is the cookout. Okay, who else do we have? Deidre's in the house. What's up, Deidre? Deidre's one of my members as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you would like to become a member, you can do that by clicking the link at the top of the chat, okay? I also want to get a few housekeeping items out the way. I talked about this the other day. I'm about to talk about it again because y'all know summer's coming up officially, but it's hot as crap out here where I am. I think it was like 80-something degrees, child. I got to get outside and get my exercise on before 7 a.m. in the morning. But this is a product called Black Girl Sunscreen. Okay, here you go. And it is water resistant. You can have it on underwater for about 80 minutes before you have to reapply. And that's pretty decent, right? I have SPF 50 and just slather it on any place where the sun is going to kiss your skin. Okay, just to make sure that you are protecting yourself. We don't need to be out here, you know, damaging our skin. So if you would like to buy this, I'll put this back up. If you would like to buy this, you can. There is a little shopping icon on the front of the screen. On the front of your cell phone, you tap that and it'll take you directly to where to buy. The link will take you directly to where to buy. Or if you are on your computer, you can also, there's like a little link right under the menu bar, okay? So please take care of that. And what else? And we got a lot to talk about today. RHOA, Love and Marriage Huntsville. We're also talking about Belle Collective, Jackson, Belle Collective Birmingham. Jackson isn't out yet. And we're also talking about Summer House, okay? And I'm going to bring up my friend right now. What's up, girl? This is Vanessa.
Hi.
From Reality TV Recap. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back.
Nice to see you, girl. Listen, we got a lot to talk about. Lots of stuff happened over the weekend on these shows. I know you popped into the chat for Birmingham Jackson. So why don't we start with that? Because you said that you was loving some Tiffany and you thought you were on Tiffany's side. I don't know if you changed your mind or not.
I didn't. I watched.
Okay. So
I'm sorry, y'all, but yes, I watched because when I popped into your chat, I had not seen the episode yet. I was just looking at clips and I was listening to, you know, everyone's comments and what you had to say. And I said, okay, I'm going to go watch. I didn't change my mind.
You did not change your mind. Okay, tell me what
Yeah.
you saw that I did not see.
I think overall for me, I just still feel like Tiffany was not actually looking for her to mop. And
Okay.
first off, I feel like Tiffany only wanted couples at this event. She did not want people there without their significant others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's becoming evident, which I think is a piece that's missing for Birmingham, where I like the husbands on Belle Collective on our original series.
Exactly.
I think they bring a lot to the show, and we don't have too much of that here in Birmingham. So, I mean, Tiffany really didn't ask her to be there or to host. She invited, Stormy invited herself to be a host. And it was more so Stormy saying, I picked up cups, I did this, I did that. And she was just joking with her saying, and now I need you to mop. She didn't really have a mop. She really wasn't looking for her to mop. I personally feel like Stormy took offense to it because Stormy feels above those things. I feel like Stormy feels she's the head of this group. She has the money and she was offended for those reasons.
Oh,
Now, do I think Tiffany could have handled the conversation better at her house and just saying, "You know what? That wasn't my intentions. I didn't mean to offend you, and I apologize," and we move on. But continuing to say, "I still think it was funny," it's gonna keep causing friction, and I wish we could have let it go at that point. But do I think she was trying to demean Stormy? No, I think it was truly a joke, and she caught offense to it because of how she sees herself coming in her outfit she got from Fumi and her regal outfit and being offended by the joke, but I don't think she necessarily meant it that way.
okay, Fran, I got a question. How do
Mm.
you feel about how Tiffany walked into Stormy's house?
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like I was a little confused because she was on the bus saying, like, I got good intentions. We're gonna let this go. And then she walked in, and I do think in that sense, just because I'm somebody's team doesn't mean they did everything right. But I do think the way she walked in, she was on defense. I also feel like with Stormy, you mean to tell me if I watch every episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, she always sat on the end of every table because she's claustrophobic? Are you telling me that's what I'm gonna see?
No, you know what? Whether I did, when she said I'm claustrophobic, I just took it as, even if that's how she said it, I was like, those two ladies shouldn't be sitting beside each other because they don't like each other. So I thought it was, even if that was the case, I thought it was a cool way to say, listen, I don't want the rest of the guests to feel uncomfortable. So, I'm going to sit over here.
I just wanted her to stand on business. And if that was the reason why, I just wanted her to say, like, you know what, we're not there yet. I'm gonna sit over here and let's talk this out and let's, address it. But it was a cop out to me. Yeah. But I don't agree with the way Tiffany walked in and her energy. And again, I just felt I really wanted them to just let it go because this is stupid at this point overall. And I just really wanted them to come in guards down. But it does feel like, even as you mentioned to me, that Tiffany is someone in her community or in Birmingham that is kind of maybe a big deal, or someone that, has that same popularity, maybe not the money as Stormy, but she's someone well known. And it just seems like a clash of egos at this point, and I wanted them to just get over it.
When I first saw it, I said, this is a clash of ego. You ladies are trying to figure out who's going to be the one on top because
Mhm.
Tiffany's group, it's not Stormy's group. It's Stormy's. Amber works for Stormy. Kylan works for Stormy, but I don't think everybody else is there because of. I'm assuming. I think. I don't know. Is it through Tiffany or is it?
Yeah, it does seem like everything is formulated around Stormy from a show franchise. Like, Fumi's there because she was invited into the group by Stormy. Tiffany is really in the group because she's friends with Amber. So I do think that the show is technically centered around Stormy, but everybody don't feel the need to just fall in line with with you as the lead. And I think Tiffany makes that very clear. I told y'all I really think Tiffany is this little scrappy one. I don't think she's, you match here.
Tiffany's definitely scrappy. Tiffany's definitely scrappy. This is, and I don't know how long you stayed in my chat on Saturday. And if you guys missed my review, you can check it out. Look for it in the little profile. But when Stormy first invited Tiffany, Tiffany was excited. She was like, I mean, you could tell.
Exactly.
She called her friend. Oh, I'm looking forward to working this out. For me, just because she seemed so excited, she accepted the invite. She seemed like she was having fun on the bus. I was like, girl, I can see how my energy might change for you if you came into my house like that.
Mm-hmm.
So for this, I am on Stormy's side. Initially, I said Stormy and Tiffany are both, they got an ego problem, and how they plan to fix it, I'm not sure. But what's the other thing? I do agree with you that when the men are part of the show, it makes it better. There's more balance.
Yeah, I just
Over the top.
Yeah, I think Glenn and I just love Glenn and Cliff. They are hilarious to me with their old school values and thoughts, but the way they come across, it's not offensive. It's just more so like these are just your typical men, not like how Marcel came across. In his latest episode, they don't give me those vibes, but it just be like these fools are crazy. But I feel like that is a dynamic that's missing in Birmingham for sure.
Okay. Well, before we get into Marceau, let's talk about Wes and Summer House.
Oh my gosh.
And I know a lot of the audience probably aren't familiar with this, so I'm going to let you set up because I know this is something you follow all the time. And I just saw the preview for the reunion.
Yes.
And Sierra ran Amanda up off that stage, child.
As she should.
Girl. But anyway, yeah. So let's talk about Wes real quick. And just to set this storyline up a little bit. So Summer House is on Bravo, right?
Yes.
Summer House is on Bravo. And y'all may have seen this because it's been on TMZ and all the news. So if you have any type of social media platform, it's scrolled up on your screen. But Wes is a little redhead white boy child who decided he needed some of that. And by some of that, I mean Sierra. Even after Sierra said, listen, I don't do this because it doesn't work out for me. Y'all like this chocolate skin for a second. Then when you get in there, you start doing other things. Mm-hmm. And Wes disrespected her in the worst way. Not just Wes, but Wes and Amanda. Amanda and Sierra were good friends, best friends, roommates, what?
They were really good friends. I know some people were defending Amanda, saying, oh, just because they're on the show together, they're not friends. Let's be clear. We are in season 10 of Summer House. They have been on our screens for a very long time. Yes. So whatever on-screen friends, just only or off-screen, they are close enough that you should not be messing with any ex-boyfriends or anyone that Ciara was messing with. Not to mention, we're watching Ciara episode after episode support Amanda, because let's not forget, Amanda's still married. She's married to Kyle, who's on the show, and we're watching her support her and tell her, you deserve better. If you need to separate, you can stay with me. We're seeing her be a real friend to her, and then that's how you repay her. She deserved to be ran off that reunion stage.
Okay. And Wes kept his little self right there. He didn't even get up. That was what was crazy.
I think he was scared too. He didn't.
A coward. Stop being a coward, Wes. Get up and go after her. He looked around like, y'all must be crazy.
Yeah. And Wes didn't deserve Ciara the first time. He don't deserve a chance with Ciara. And in real life, if they weren't on the show, I don't think this is someone Ciara would even date. But for Ciara to give him the chance of him play in her face the first time, she took him seriously. And then the show, after the last time they tried to make things work and he played in her face. And then for her, I would have never gave him the first nor the second chance. And then for her to give him a second chance, and we're watching that develop too. The finale airs tonight, where we're going to see them kissing. So they've been off and on this whole time, and then you playing her face again like this.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, not to mention, you were going back and forth, boo. She was sitting there laying in your lap and tonguing, you were tonguing her down. So that's nasty. That's
Yeah.
nasty. Yeah, I can't wait to watch it. I'm looking forward to this reunion, child.
Yeah. I mean, the way you get them is the way you lose them for sure. And Wes does this all the time, messing with women that come in at the parties. He did it during this season to Ciara, where he was trying to be back with Ciara. Then he's sitting on another woman's lap, kissing on her at a party. Like, this is, he doesn't know what he wants. He's not serious. He should not be taken seriously. And I don't know what Amanda's expecting out of her relationship with him. I did hear a rumor that she was seen out and saying that she's going to meet Wes's family really soon. But I hope you marry him. The way you done messed up your life and your endorsements and your bag for him, I hope you marry him. I hope you make it worth it.
Not to mention, Wes is a liar. He's a scammer. Amanda is too. And both of them are narcissists at this point. The way they are standing in it. I mean, what did they were like, listen, y'all got 2 minutes to mourn this because we are out in the streets.
Yeah.
We are out in the streets and we don't care. Just trying to point out some of these people are really, really crazy and they're on the shows. They're on these shows and they don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, girl.
I'm
Anyway,
looking forward to the finale and In the City. So In the City is premiering tonight also. So that's like a spinoff to Summer House. We get to see them back in New York, back in the city, fall time, and it will follow the continuation of Kyle and Amanda's divorce. Wes makes some cameos. Ciara's not on this In the City, but it kind of keeps us going through that process. See, not only I feel like we've been seeing what Wes has to say and him and his side, and I think we're going to see more of Amanda's side and feel even more side-eyed-ish about her because Wes and Kyle were friends. So it's just messy all around.
I'm going to watch In the City because I want to see what that's about. I'm going to watch that. We'll keep talking about this. And then who else was I going to bring up? Have you been watching Real Housewives of Rhode Island?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
We got to talk about that too. That's an interesting show. They've come in hot, I think.
They have. Yeah. They have come in, they've made a splash. They have already been renewed for a second season. Yes. Congratulations to them. But I am enjoying them. I really am.
Me too. Girl, them houses too. Look, we'll talk about it a little later. But yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show. All right. Now, I'm going to save Love and Marriage Huntsville for last. I don't want to keep too much of your time though, but let's talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yes.
Girl, mouth drop. Now, we talked a little bit about K. Michelle last time. Do you think she's cuckoo cuckoo or what?
I think that K. Michelle is so on the defense and she seems to be very paranoid that everyone's out to take her down, where it seems like everybody wants to support her. They want her to feel comfortable. They want her to share. They want her to participate. And I said that to you. She has to participate. We can't keep coming to the breakfast late, not attending the dinners, not, like I really want her to show up and participate. But it just seems like she's in her head about all of the different dynamics or traumas, past traumas from her time on Love and Hip Hop, where they didn't believe her about her ex that married Toya, where she said that, she was abused by him and she felt like Rashida and them didn't take it seriously or believe her. She just seems to have a lot of past traumas, even with the whole Stank Oyster situation, the back and forth but those rumors are 11 years old.
And when it was actually happening, she moved through it differently than what she's doing now. So those insecurities truly are just like recycling in her brain because I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna let you tell what she was talking about, because some of the audience may not know. And I know that you went and did the research of this Oystergate situation. But when they just got off the bus and you have Kelly make the comment over Portia, the hot
Mm.
chili Cheeto corn chip situation,
Yeah.
have her say that, my mind would have never thought, oh, you're talking about me. I mean, all of them, including Shamia. Shamia was on Watch What Happens Live, y'all. And I know she was trying to clear her name, like she didn't say anything. But the way she answered Andy's question, I was just like, girl, did you watch it?
Yes, I did. I saw the Watch What Happens Live. Yep.
So what was your thoughts on Shamia? Do you think Shamia has something to do with it, Shamia or Kelly?
I feel like Shamia and Kelly put the battery in K Michelle's back. Instead of her talking her down and saying, no, I don't think it's about you, or, they put the battery in the back and they're putting their perceptions of Portia, because they're all not in a good place with Portia. I think they're just, instead of, again, talking her down, they're putting the battery in her back, like, yeah, they sneaky, they're doing something behind your back. And I truly don't think that is the case in this scenario. I just really don't.
And I'm gonna tell you where Shamia messed up. When they leave dinner, K Michelle pulls Shamia aside and say, are you gonna keep acting out against Drew, or are you gonna let this go so y'all can be cool? Like, you gotta let this go. And then when the next morning, Kay's like, all of you were plotting, and I know, and you were talking about me. And I'm like, well, why were you trying to encourage Shamia to be cool with Drew if you're now saying it was Portia, Drew, and Phaedra? And she probably didn't recognize it in the moment, but the way Shamia's face was just like, oh, please don't say my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, she looked really shocked. And then for her to come back and say, I need you, Kay, to clear my name. I said, girl, bye.
Yeah.
At this point, nobody cares. Not to mention the fact, even with that, everybody, the person who laughed first at the oyster joke was Cynthia. They were Cynthia's oysters. You got Pinky in the bathroom. She's sick.
Drunk.
Drunk, sick. Drew is just like, girl, them oysters, because oysters can make you sick. That's, everybody should know that. Raw oysters, sometimes people doesn't agree with people. So she's like, you got this big event. Girl, watch out for them oysters. I would think that all those dots would connect.
Yeah. I don't know how it connected back to an 11-year-old rumor. I just don't understand it at all. It
So
wasn't given the who said that we had with Portia and Candy. It was more so like, no, really, who said it? Because I feel responsible. I brought you in this group.
tell the folks about the rumor, where the rumor actually originated, why she was so upset.
So I know in the clip she mentioned that that they were trying to connect with her ex, and but the bottom line is, over 11 years ago, I think Mano actually is the one that started the rumor that K Michelle had a stank, little stank cat, little stank box. But it blew up even more when Soulja Boy did an interview while he was on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, and he was asked in the interview, like, from maybe like the Love and Hip Hop franchises, he was basically asked, who would you want to hook up with? And
Mm.
he said K Michelle. And then the interviewer asked him, well, have you already hooked up with her? And he clearly said, no, I'm already in a relationship. And the interviewer kept kind of trying to like pry to see. And he said, all I'm gonna say is I would love to, date her or sleep with her. And K Michelle took offense to that. And she went on The Breakfast Club. And she also told Angela Yee off because she felt like she wasn't defending her. But she, in that interview, said that she didn't like how he laughed and giggled and implied that something happened, which when I watch it back, I put the clip in my IG story for people to go and watch. I did not feel like he implied that he slept with her.
Mm-mm.
But she also And not to say this is something that he should be offended by or retaliated, that he retaliated against, but she then said, well, let's giggle about the transgender woman in Atlanta, implying that he slept with a transgender woman. So
She,
then, yeah, so she had all this mouth, and I'm gonna be honest, Diana, I'm starting to feel like K Michelle got a lot of mouth, but I don't know if she gonna bust a grape in a fruit fight at this point, because it's always in confessionals, it's on Twitter.
yes.
But, she had all this to say about Soulja Boy, so then he went online and said that, he heard that she got the stank box and that he wanna hear her reply because he gonna expose her and that her box smell like dumpster juice. But nobody would. I feel like she's brought more attention and caused someone like me to go back and do my research and dig to find these things out, but it was like Uncle Murder jumped in it, and he said also that he heard the same thing and that he know 5 men that said the same thing about her. But these are all things nobody would have went and looked up had she not brought it up.
She not brought it up. Not just brought it up, but cried herself. And like you said, you're sitting at this table, you're heaving, you can barely get it out. I don't want to say anything now. And then you go inside confessional and it's all, I done got 8 procedures to my box. And girl,
That made me feel like
that?
yeah, it made me feel like she had insecurities about those rumors that she did all of those procedures.
She did. And I said the same thing. I said either Kay is not as quick with her tongue as we think. Maybe when she was over there on Love and Hip Hop, maybe that was a culture that she just knew a little bit better, so she was able to whip it out. But she's not able to do it with these ladies, and they every 5 seconds they're looking confused, like what?
We all are. We all are confused.
I saw an interview with Cynthia earlier, and even Cynthia was like, I'm confused. I don't want to invalidate her feelings, but I do know that Portia, and I'm assuming Portia really connected her with this show. Do you know
Yeah.
anything about it? She did.
She
Okay.
did. Yeah, Portia was the one that connected her. She's like the piece that brings her in. That's her tie into the storyline. Yeah.
And so Cynthia made that comment today. She said Portia really brought her on this show thinking that this was going to be a good fit for her. And she was like, I hope we still, I hope she doesn't pull out of it for next season because she loves her. But I don't know. In my opinion, yikes.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if she's a good fit. I came into this saying, I know that there was some insecurities by Kay because people necessarily didn't want her on the show, or they were saying this is not Love and Hip Hop. She doesn't belong. I wanted her to come in, still be her shady, funny self, but prove the haters wrong. And I really feel like I just hate when a housewife has so much mouth in the confessional that they don't bring that same energy. Let
Right.
them know. Come to the table and say, "Yeah, I heard y'all trying to plot against me on this, and this is how I feel about it." And if you gonna say Drew need to worry about that man in the basement, or you gonna say Portia out here need to worry about that synthetic hair she's selling, say
Right.
it at the table. That's what I need.
That's what the show is about. Exactly. I
Right.
was hoping that she would be that little extra oomph that, because Phaedra gets off her little Southern Belle reads. I thought that Kay was going to come in and do something similar, but
Mhm.
Megan style. Anyway, I hate that for her. I hate it for her because it does paint her in a horrible light.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it does. But good luck to her, I guess. Anyway, child, who else was I going to say? Um, let's talk a little bit about Kelly and this whole married man situation. Did we talk about that last time? I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
think we did. I don't think we talked about it.
What's your feelings on this? You think Portia made it up, or you think it's true?
I think there's some truth to it. I don't listen. I think there's some truth to it just because Phaedra was saying, don't bring it up because he's married and I don't want this to cause. I know these people. There's some truth to it. I think And then even when somebody was saying like, no, well, maybe she doesn't know. Maybe Kelly doesn't know the man is married. She's like, no, she absolutely know because she reached out to the man and tried to shush him. I don't know. I think there's some truth to it.
I do too. I think there's some truth to that. I also think that Portia was in line when she said the girl tried to scissor. I'm just gonna be honest. I s- I saw that Grenada trip. Them ladies was wild. I thought y'all was scissoring each other then in front of the cameras. To be honest, I was like, you can step away from from these ladies just a little bit. But I was like, that's way too much touching going on for her to be like after the Grenada trip, where we all saw they were way too touchy feely. We're in Miami.
I mean, all of these housewives trips we see there's some type of we saw it on over Potomac with Wendy and so I feel like they
Fashion.
all we even saw it on the old Roni cast when they always kissing and stuff like that. And listen, Portia is a beautiful woman. I'm married and I would want to scissor her. Like she's beautiful.
The
Like
way she told the story, even listen, Vanessa, what she said, I was giving myself a little hoe bath, and Shamia and Kelly were in the room. I was like, oh, how did that happen? I said, neither one of y'all denied the other part of the details. Tells us everything we need to know. What was you
exactly.
doing there?
Yeah.
So anyway, good for her. And this might explain a little more of why Kelly is so strong. Her feelings, her energy toward her is so strong. Because I'm like, Kelly, what did she do to you? She turned you down. That makes sense now.
Yeah, Kelly has been using Portia as part of her storyline from the jump, and very worried about her sleeping with a married man and in her business. It's like, what's your deal with her?
What
I
is
think she sees that, and that's another thing I don't like. I should make my like house rules, rookie rules 101. Because one thing is I don't like talking in your the confessional energy not matching in person. And I don't like when a newer housewife comes on and tries to create a beef with an OG housewife. I hate that. Like, let's get to know you before you come on pissing off the audience who are of a housewife that already has created a fan base or people love them. I don't like that at all.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I say it all the time. I'm like, girl, you're not going to get anywhere. Portia's going to
Let it
slam
go.
you. And that's exactly what's happening. And I think that Shamia might have bought a troll farm now because previously people were spanking her in them comments. Now, when I read through comments, I'm like, everything just says Shamia's beautiful. Shamia's beautiful. I'm like, do y'all have anything to say about the actual events that happened? And did you see Shamia did had a little nip slip? Did you see Andy Cohen was just staring at her like that? I said,
I just, yeah.
huh?
I feel like, yeah, we're all in a trance of her body after seeing her in that thong. Cause I even commented, I said, I don't care for Shamia, but the new booty is T.
New book
Okay.
is me, and
Yeah, like
gonna get it out there. That's a tax write off. Okay.
we're in a trance, but it will wear off. And
Andy Cohen
ask
was
a few
asking
more.
those questions, and then his eyes went like this, and she didn't even notice it. And then you just see the blur on her chest. I was like, goodbye. I'm done with this show.
And the dress was a mess. She still can't dress, and it was like, watch what happens live. She never does any better. This is the second, I think, the second Watch What Happens Live appearance. I didn't like the dress the last one. I didn't like this dress this time. It's like
Her hair.
always missed the mark. Great body, all this money, and still missing the mark in the fashions. Her and Kelly, I can't take either one of them, and they tearing Kelly up for her confessional look and her t-shirts that she called high fashion. She said
Yes,
it's a Tom Ford t-shirt, but no, they tearing her up today.
absolutely. All right, girl. We're gonna get into what everybody is in here waiting to chit chat about. And another thing, give my name back, Tisha. Get my name back, Tisha. You may or may not know, Wanda, Tisha's mama, is already on Marceau's neck. Okay, she came out today
She
and
went live.
huh?
She went live.
Oh, she's going live later. Later, I
I
think in probably an
received
hour. Yeah, she said that she is. She said you want that name back. We're about to give it to you. So I'm gonna go over there just to see what she's talking about. But
me
yeah,
too.
Poor Marceau. I did not know that. This is my theory. I'm going to tell you what I said the other day. When Marceau came into that building and recognized that Tisha was spackling that
Yeah.
doggone wall, getting that drywall up, his little ego got bruised because
Mhm.
Marceau's value in keeping Tisha. A lot of us have been having conversations about how um, Tisha's dumb, whatever the conversations are. Tisha's dumb. Marceau doesn't like Tisha. I'm not so sure that is what is happening in front of our eyes now. Marceau came out in December 2024 and said, listen, my marriage, he did this on his live. I don't know if you heard it, but our marriage is in trouble. We are going to counseling, something that he said he was never doing. He, of course, isn't using the TV Dr. Francis counseling, but he came out and admitted we're in counseling. You know, we really had to think about whether or not we were going to make it, if we are going to be here for these kids. This is all stuff that he could have just said, I'm done. I'm out. I don't want to be here anymore. But he has been fighting for his marriage, even though I know a lot of the audience does not think so. I think he has. I think that Tisha has been the one who said, due to the comments and the feedback from the viewers, maybe I am giving you way too much. Maybe I do deserve better. And
Mhm.
I think that she's been really trying to figure out who she is in these last couple of years. In the first
Yeah.
season, I think she was more shy and reserved and more, you're the leader, you're the man. And I think that's what he wants. He
Mhm.
does not want to be questioned. And they were doing so good until that particular scene. And then all of that old Marceau BS came flooding back.
Yeah. I agree. I think that exactly spot on that she was just a stay-at-home mom, that he was the head of the household. She did whatever he said. She followed his lead. And I agree. I believe in recent years, she's wanted to get her degrees, go to school, which he mentioned he feels like these are all things to further her, not them as a couple. But in this season, I felt like they were in a better place. They had each other's back. They were doing good. I
Mhm.
think, what I took from it when he came in and saw she was doing the project herself, it fueled the perception, or the perception of him, that he doesn't finish projects.
Right.
And he was upset that the one he expect to have his back is in there spackling the wall and saying, well, you ain't
Right.
got this done yet, so I'm gonna do it, kind of fueling what we see Maurice and Kimmy saying, what we see said by Martell. And from that moment on, it became about hurting her feelings.
Yep.
It became about embarrassing her the way he felt embarrassed, instead of being able to say, why would you do this? That's something that's already being said about me. Instead of saying, maybe he has multiple projects and these are one of them, because we heard him saying to when he met about the license with Nell's husband Chris,
Chris.
he was saying like, yeah, my wife's project is at the top of the list. I got to get her office done. And then we see this. I think at that point it shifted and it came all about him trying to just embarrass and hurt her back.
Girl, you said it. Because he was bragging to Chris, wasn't he? Oh, look at this. Look what we got going on. And then all of a sudden that hurt his feelings. And
Yeah.
that's the problem. When Marceau gets his feelings hurt, he's nasty. He treats Tisha like he would treat a ninja in the street. Tisha's
Hmm.
wife. And this is what the audience sees. But Marceau fell back in that old pattern. But I do think that he had been trying in the beginning, those last two seasons. Even I will say, even when he had to confront Martell, and I know a lot of the viewers didn't like that moment where they were at Destiny's whatever whatever the relaunch was. They were
Yeah.
they were on a rooftop, and Martell and Marceau get back into it, and Martell I think it had to do with Tisha, whatever he had said to Tisha. And Tisha attempted to get up, and Marceau made her sit back down and sit there in front of Martell to say, he wants us not to be together, and we're going to show him we're a team or whatever. And he was like, nope, don't do it, just so that Martell can realize I'm the loser. And then he
Yeah.
got up and said, I'm better than you in every way. I'm better than you in every way, and I still have my wife. From that point forward, Marceau seemed like he was trying to be better with Tisha. Like I said, even like doing the live and telling everybody they're in therapy, they're working on their relationship. This is something different, and we're gonna get, I think, in episode 13, they're gonna discuss what happened with
Mhm.
mess, because he tried to steal. This is what I wanted to say. Who said, "Give me my name back"? Do you remember?
In this episode?
No, who said it before Marceau says it?
I don't remember who else said that. Was it Martell? Did Martell say it before?
He might have. It was Scrappy. He said it about Bambi. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Live. And I think Bambi had just got engaged. He said, I'm glad y'all engaged. Give me my daddy's damn name back, or however he said it. And I was like, why do y'all think Scrappy is a prize? He must be working with something.
That's
Something
what they say.
he
That's
is.
that's what they say. They say that's what it is. I hear that a lot from all of them, but I think it is. But I mean, in all honesty, we wasn't called. What is Scrappy's last name? I don't even know. Ain't it Scrappy? First name Lil? I
Well,
don't know.
exactly. His first name is Lil. His last name is Scrappy. That's what we've been calling him all these years. Yes, yes.
And
But
we
yeah,
call Bambi Bambi. We call it a Bam. We don't call her Bambi Scrappy's last name. We don't do that.
give me my daddy's damn name back. That's what Marceau pulled. Give me Tisha. And I keep thinking, who are you, royalty? Where do you think you come from? You are the other side of the tracks too.
It's very offensive. And again, it was a plot to hurt her as they were going back and forth. And he got frustrated that she's not following what he says. And she said, no, but I'm my own person. I have my own opinion. And he's
Yes.
saying, well, if that's what you want to do, you don't want to, you're not an individual. We're together. Like he's trying to be like, if you're not going to follow what I say, then why you here? Give me my name back.
Give me my
He
name.
would have had it back immediately.
I feel like he probably was apologizing to her left and right after that, but it's too late, because it's exactly what Kimmy told him in the past. You do these things on TV, you know how she feel. I don't think that Tisha is a church mouse at home. I think that
No.
she gets in his face and cusses him out. I think the same about Kimmy. I think that because you can see Kimmy like, God, don't make me explode. Like I want to shoot up out of my seat. But Tisha will take a back seat on camera for Marceau. But I do enjoy watching her, the transformation that we've seen from her these last couple of seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think this is one of the issues we see with couples when they're not living their authentic life on the cameras.
On
When
the
you want to streamline or tailor what comes out of your husband's mouth, and there's gonna be times where you're not on the same page, or the mask is gonna slip and we're gonna see what is actually happening. So that's why live in the truth, good, bad, or ugly. And honestly, we would probably be more on Tisha's side. She wouldn't catch so much slack that she's catching if we could. Because in this episode, I think we all felt for her. We were on her side after watching what truly transpired there. And Tisha has suffered the slings and arrows. I mean, I will give Marcel that to this day. Nothing has ever come to of him cheating outside of that ridiculous podcast that Ariane and Martell did. Like, there's never been any proof or evidence of anyone coming forward, and she suffered so many slings and arrows for that. You
everyone,
know?
yeah, and we attacked the out of Tisha in the beginning, but now that all the stories have come out and you can piece them together, we know that Tisha and Marceau, and I would even say maybe even Kimmy and Maurice, even though Kiowa, Maurice's ex-wife, was nice enough to, come on that show, and even when she wasn't in the best place with Kimmy,
Right.
let her know, I can't stand you. I think that you were cheating with this man when we were still married, despite us, whatever. Kiowa was ready to get that story out there. And I think that Kimmy and Maurice were okay with it. You know what I mean? Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
I
Where
think they were okay with her telling her side of the story, but we're gonna hold fast to there was no overlap, although I beg
agree,
to differ.
but I think that she knew it and she was ready. They were ready for it. I
Mhm.
don't think that Tisha and Marceau were ready for the cheating thing to come to them. I
Yeah.
think that they had already said that there was a pact with Martell that they weren't supposed to talk about Ariane, and they didn't until he brought it up. He brought it to them. Melody caught me cheating, but I don't think that they expected that, and they didn't know how to get their story on the show the way Melody and Martell knew to get their story on the show, or the way Kimmy and Maurice knew to get their story on the show.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Kimmy didn't agree with Kiowa, she still was able to shout it out. You know what I'm saying? Tisha's been living her. I think the trajectory of her story kind of it didn't go the way it was supposed to, and she's kind of been living behind it the entire time. If that makes
Mm.
sense. Um,
Yeah, I think so. Again, I feel like even with Kimmy and Kyle coming on, it was when they wanted to, and it was tailored the way they wanted her to come in there. Everything like it's not you got to give us the real, even with Maurice's DUI that got thrown out. It was on their terms and what they wanted out there, and it doesn't
That's
always work out.
exactly right. That's exactly right. I think people miss that piece that Tisha and Marceau wasn't ready to talk about it. They're still, and even now, the way they're talking about it or the way they're bringing it up, it's such a damn slow walk. And I don't know if it was because maybe their children were so small or their families didn't know. I don't know, but they just weren't expecting it. They were. I think they were kind of sabotaged.
Yeah, I get that we always get the, "Oh, it's an open case, it's a legal matter, we can't talk about it," but the amount of time we spent on it and the lipstick on the collar and the mug shot or on the lips in the mug shot, I expected there to be more discussion about it once it was closed, and it was only where Maurice brought it up, I think, in the conversation with Monster. He was like, "Right, see, and now nobody's talking about it. Let's talk about it. What? So tell us what actually happened."
Martell's going to bring it up on Saturday.
Okay.
Martell's going to bring it back up on Saturday, and Martell is in his "I don't give a" era. So
Yeah.
I think he's gonna. I think he's about to give. I think he's about to bring it. So hopefully we will get the tea with that the way we're supposed to.
I
Uh,
hope so.
Me too. He's Martell's on a mission to expose the Scott brothers in a way that they better be ready for.
Yeah.
I mean, Marceau said at the end of last episode, "I still don't f with Martell. That's somebody I'm never gonna fool with." But you said now he wants to bring it. Well, y'all gotta realize they have all been lying since season one, and not just the Scotts. Everybody's been lying. Everybody had the perfect relationship. Nobody was cheating except for one person. And then they all finally came out and said, yes, cheating was, in the marriage since the beginning. Or I think Kimmy said it, if he did cheat, as long as he's not cheating now. Then she gets to the end of the reunion in season 9 and said something like, I don't put it past them,
Mhm.
something like that, right?
Yeah.
So everybody, the only people that has never got a chance to tell their story their way, or they haven't figured it out yet how to articulate it, is Marceau and Tisha.
Yeah.
Kimmy and Maurice got it. Um, who else? Melody and Martell, they told them to shut up so that they could bring the story. Don't talk about us, we'll talk about us. And even then, they didn't tell the story. Their story changed as the seasons went on. It went from who Ariane being the only person to Martell being a serial cheater. It went from my marriage didn't know cheating until I met the Scotts to he was maybe cheating with the wedding planner. So they took a lot of heat for their marriage, I think.
Yeah. And I want to ask you, Diana, do you want to see Martell film with Ariane? And I guess you guys can let us know in the comments too, because I'm curious. Do you want to see her
Um,
on the show?
this is how I feel about it. You said because it lies more lies. Hold on. Melody said she had the perfect marriage too. Y'all beat Tisha up for the same thing Melody said. Perfect marriage except for Ariane. That's what she said. And then she changed it. But nobody remembers that she changed it. This is how I feel about Ariane. I think that Melody and Martell had such a strong relationship, even when they were, divorced and everything went rotten. They still have chemistry. They still had chemistry on the show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you look at those first couple of episodes of Melody and Martell, even though now we knew that they were broken up and trying to figure it out, Melody and Martell were like this. I mean, side by side, touching each other, skin to skin all the time. Never did finishing each other's sentences, laughing, high fiving. We don't see that from Ariane and Martell now on social media. And I think that if they fought this hard to get to a place where they are off people's mind, why bring her on the show? Unless he wants to break up for real, I think that would be the kiss of death.
Yeah. I thought we were moving in that direction because he was talking about her and moving her into his property. I thought I'm so messy. I just wanted to see because you know what it was, the interview that they did do with that strange woman that says that she, slept with Marcel. In that interview, we got to see some of their dysfunction and her being like, "Oh, you said what was you doing while she was out there in Las Vegas?" I want to see that messiness so bad. I would be here for it. Just to see the embarrassment of it and the breakups and the makeups and we together this week and we're not. I think it would bring some drama to the show. So I was actually here for it. Being that Mel's not on the show now, I wouldn't be for it if Mel's on the show. I would think that's disrespectful to be honest. But I was like, she's gone. She's moved on from the show. Let's get some mess in here.
You think she'll be more
So
mess?
messy. Yeah.
I'm for the mess. I think that Ariane is really submissive to Martell. That when I see her in videos, she always is like, Martell, Martell. And then he'll say two words to her and she'll be like, oh, okay. All right, daddy. Kind of thing. I'm not making that up either. She always seems like she's in a okay daddy situation. She's looking for him to teach her something or whatever it is. She just doesn't seem like she's herself. I'm not in no way ready to coach Ariane into, like in the way that we scream at Tisha. I will break my TV trying to look at something that Ariane's doing. I will be like, girl, get off my screen. That for real. But I don't know. I'm happy that they're done. I didn't realize that we'd have this different kind of relief with the show because I think everybody kept talking about how crazy Melody and Martell were, I guess, behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
There's an ease with the show now that didn't exist for the last 2 years she was on, maybe 3. They were really bitter.
Yeah.
I like who Martell is on the show right now. He seems a lot easier and calmer. You can tell that he's not begging producers to put him in scenes with Melody.
Right. But we're not seeing enough of him, I feel like. We go, I feel like weeks without seeing him, or he just has one scene. So I just wonder if Ariane was filming, would we see more of him? Would he have more of a love, not marriage, but dynamic that we could see? I know Martell is a mess. I know he's a villain in his own right, but I do think he's good for the show. And I would I just want to see some more mess. And I mean, this has been a great season. Don't get me wrong. I think Destiny has definitely stepped up. Um, even in this last episode with her and Nell and their dynamic and her calling Nell out because Nell was being messy, inviting her to that family dinner. But I just, yeah, I would love to see more of him and more of his dynamic with the men and also with Ariane. I might be on this hill alone, but
I'm not there yet. I'll
okay.
say that. I'm not there yet. I do like who he is with the guys. And there, even who he is now, there's a shift. And I like that. He seems more mature. I like that he is kind of giving advice, even if people don't like it. I like that he's giving advice to like Ken and whatever. And I'm okay with the rift he has with the Scott brothers. I'm okay with him having that back and forth with them. I like his relationship with them. I think that maybe we should see Martell more on the show
Yes.
himself with everybody else, and then introduce him with someone.
And I would be okay with that. Even if it's not with Ariane, I would hope that we get to a point where he's allowed to date on this show like Destiny's doing or something. But I think I do want to see more of him because he's not even, I'm kind of concerned. He's not promoting the show at all. The last thing that he promoted was his episodes on Belle Collective Birmingham. I don't see him saying like, "Hey, we're on tonight," or giving any clips. Nothing. He's not giving us nothing. So that concerns me a bit.
He did sign his contract for the upcoming season.
Okay.
He did show himself filming, him and Destiny.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
So that's good. Um, what else? What else? But yeah, I agree. He's been kind of walked back even when Melody was on. I think when Ken and Trish came on, we saw less of Martell for
Mhm.
some reason. Well, she wasn't filming with him. That would be the reason. And then he was at war with the Scots and they didn't want to film with him. So he squeezed himself out. Is there
Yeah.
anything else that was happening on Love and Marriage Huntsville? We talked about Destiny and Nell Fletcher, Ken and Trisha. Trisha saying that spin the block doesn't mean
Girl. Listen, she had one too many drinks at that drag show, and a drunk man don't tell no tales. Something happened with whoever she spent the block with, and she got, and then you always can tell when she lying because she started fumbling over the words. Destiny, Destiny didn't mean to catch her in anything. The way she talked about it, she made it seem like Ken was aware that she had spent the block or whatever had went on.
girl.
And I'm not spend the block mean exactly what it means. And whoever she spent the block with, because I'm still not even convinced that it ain't Marquez, her strange husband. But
Fact.
something went on. I tell you, Trish is not a good storyteller. I leave every conversation she has confused. Yet I'm confused, yet I know you lying.
I'm lying. I'm gonna say this about Destiny. I think Destiny did bust her out in front of Ken. I think that Destiny was getting her lick back because she's tired of them talking about the Martell thing. When they showed the flashback of Sharon say, "I thought it was you," Destiny looked, she went, "Girl, please," like that. And I went, "Oh shit, Destiny's about to hit. She's about to say something smart." But when Trisha made that face like she looked like, "Please do not bust me out," and Destiny started smiling, she went, "You said."
Yeah, I left that
Both of y'all.
conversation.
You said both of y'all did it. I said, "Oh, Destiny doesn't give any F's anymore."
You
They
sure
must have
don't.
gave her a bump in her damn check.
And I'm
Bravo.
gonna be honest though, I left the conversation where she had at the table thinking that Ken was honest with her, that he was dating a traveling nurse, and that she was honest with him, that she spent the block and was talking and dating somebody when they was on the break. And I didn't think that it was gonna be news to Ken, although it seemed like it was news to Ken. And yeah.
And I'm going to say this too. I said Ken and Will are the new Phaedra and Candy. The way they give each other eyes, girl. Ken was like, I mean, Will went like this, like, did you know this?
Yeah. So you was talking to somebody else when y'all was on the break? Like
When he bumped his nose, I said, y'all stay the duo. Y'all stay a duo. We need y'all here. What did you say? You said, girl, none of them gave girl code. Who are you talking about didn't give girl code? I don't know. They're on a reality show. At some point, these stories are gonna come out. I mean,
Jim was gonna see what we saw at the drag show. He was gonna see it.
you're gonna see it, yep. And so since he's gonna see it, he's gonna watch that show. Might as well bring it out. You said Trisha loves embarrassing Ken, but I guess they're dating. She was on a dating show recently, and so she has a new boo thing, and I guess Ken got his new boo thing, but
Yeah.
they're both coming back to the show, and they're going to deal with each other. Allegedly, there's going to be some things uncovered that we as the audience
Mm.
have not heard before.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Here it is the question.
I'm here for it.
You're here for it. Okay.
Yeah, I want to see them dating other people on the show too.
Me too. I think I'm ready to see Ken and Trisha with somebody else.
Yeah, let's make it love and dating Huntsville. Just not love and marriage Huntsville. Love and dating. I want to see all. I want to see Destiny dating, Martell dating. I want to see Ken and Trish dating. I want them to bring their dates around each other and make it messy and awkward. I want it all.
How about Kimmy and Maurice? What do you think about their participation on the show? Do you like them? Do you think they're good for the show or good with their brother and sister-in-law?
I am disappointed in them this season. Like I said before, I felt like Kimmy put some sauce on whatever she went back and told Tisha about her conversation with Destiny. They feel like, and I think it goes back to Maurice's DUI, where they felt like everybody was talking about it, everybody had an opinion. They feel like they're on some type of get back tour where they're gonna, try to bring everybody else's stuff to the forefront and like trying to just get back for what they went through. I feel like that about how she's gone around and Kimmy's gone around and talks to everybody about Chris's license being revoked. I feel like that about her going back with Destiny to, what she talked to Destiny about with Tisha. It seems like, and they keep throwing that transparency word around with Nell. I just feel like they're on some type of get back tour, and it's not becoming of them. Um,
Okay.
and I'm where are we at with all the stuff Maurice had to say before we came back to the second half of the season
When
with the
he almost threatened to divorce Kimmy.
right, where we at with that? How we go from that to y'all now trying to sue Marcel for
Kimmy,
not getting y'all restaurant together?
Kimmy and Maurice have the weakest storyline.
Mhm.
And I really wanted to close that gap with how Kimmy told the story to Destiny, or excuse me, to Tisha. That didn't make
Mhm.
sense. I know she attempted to explain it at the
Drag show, yeah.
drag show, but I was like, Tisha needs to ask her, girl, why would you put so much energy on that and make me get into it with my friend?
I wonder if it's gonna come about the reunion. Like I wonder what Tisha's thoughts are now seeing it for herself
For
and seeing the
herself.
conversation.
Me too. I agree. I want to see that. That's a gap that needs to be closed. On the reunion, I want to hear Marie say, I fell and bumped my head and almost divorced my wife on TV. I almost asked for them papers on TV. I want to hear him say that because y'all just brought that into the atmosphere, and the way it was shut down, it wasn't cute.
No.
It still didn't. It still wasn't cute. And I know that the production team asked them, this is what everybody's talking about. This is what they want to know. But I think Maurice embarrasses Kimmy more than Marceau embarrasses Tisha.
And every possible chance he get, he gonna say something stupid out his mouth.
And then
Yep, agreed.
what? I don't know. I think I'm hurting you. Maybe I should just divorce you.
He always gonna put it on her.
Exactly. Exactly. But yes, who else did we talk about everybody? I think that was it. Those were the main
Yeah.
people on the show. But okay, girl. I appreciate you coming back over here. You have
I
to
appreciate you having me.
and you need to come back. We need to have a weekly wrap up of these shows.
Yeah. I would love that, a weekly wrap up.
Okay,
I
but we're
will
gonna
tell
get a
you this.
weekly thing.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. You guys thank our guest, Miss Vanessa from Reality Recap, who is an amazing content creator on
Thank
all
you.
platforms. So make sure that you're following her because she does do the research, child. Y'all know a lot of stuff. Before I had brought her on the channel, I would always go to her page and be like, what is Vanessa talking about? So I could get the hot tea. So
Thank you.
so, yes, you please come back because we love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look, all of the folks are out here. They came in just for you. I don't always see Miss Tasha
Oh,
Green's chat. So, it's
thank you.
a real blessing to have her in the chat. Thank you, Tasha, and everybody else. Thank you, guys. All right, Chica. Until the next one. I
Peace.
appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So you guys, thank y'all for coming over. This has been fun, and I am finding my rhythm with Miss Vanessa. But Vanessa is an amazing content creator, so I hope that you guys continue to follow her. Please, please, please. Also, if she's serious, then I definitely want to do more of these and another things with Miss Vanessa because we need to be breaking down the stuff that we don't always talk about in my reviews. Y'all know that I like to act out some of the stuff in the review and then I forget some things. So this helps us get, you know, collectively on board because all of you follow me and I know sometimes y'all have questions like, girl, where did you come up with this? And it's just easier to talk about with a guest, okay? But outside of that, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I saw my sister Clone in the house. We got the same mama, same daddy. Clone in the house was here. Also, I know that I saw Miss Lady D Keys earlier, and then all of my members as well. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out tonight. Now I gotta head over to see. I gotta head over and see what Wanda is gonna say about Marceau and that little nasty comment he made. Because I know y'all don't believe that Marceau does not want to divorce Tisha. Marceau's been nasty or mean to Tisha because Marceau wants to keep Tisha under his foot. I promise you. He wants to keep Tisha under his foot. But when Tisha said, we going to counseling, he was the one who drove the car. Okay, make no mistake. He wants that relationship. Anyways, you guys, hit the like button, share the video, follow me on all platforms at DYANAROZAY. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. Until the next one, bye-bye.